And oh my goodness, welcome back to the Cabbage Patch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Gus.
And
Camera's over here, Gus.
the camera's over there. Remember the camera? We're in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Today, what did we play?
Horrified.
I can't quite see it because I'll screw it up. Right there we go. Horrified. But you can see it in the box shot below our
Yeah,
video.
no, I don't
Where
know
you
why
can
I did
kill
that.
Dracula and the thing from the Black Lagoon and a lot of other monsters.
Right, so this is a game where it's entirely cooperative. So none of us are the monsters. We're all these heroes of some sort trying to
Kill
get
the
through,
monsters.
save the village, because the village is under attack by a bunch of classic movie monsters, including Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Also under here is Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein.
Which you don't have to kill.
Which you don't have to kill, you gotta make them realize their humanity. You got the Wolfman.
Wait, is this
That's the Wolfman. You've got
he doesn't look very werewolfy.
the Mummy and the Invisible Man.
Who isn't really a monster, he's just kind of a dude who's invisible.
He is a kind of a dude that's invisible. So these are all classic movie monsters.
This guy
And-
just looks like he's that one and guy with the afro who paints. But
Yeah,
he
oh,
just
like Bob Ross. Yeah, I guess he
Yeah.
does look a little bit like Bob Ross. So the goal of the game is each of you takes the role of a hero, right? Right? And what we're trying to do is save villagers, and the villagers appear as the game progresses, and defeat the monsters. And each of the monsters has their own special card, which I think right there you can see. So for Dracula, the way to defeat Dracula is you have to find all his coffins, and his coffins are spread around the map, in the cave, in the graveyard, in the dungeon, and the crypt. And we have to take special kinds of tools there, in this case red tools, and I'll tell you how to get tools in a second, to destroy the coffins, right?
Yeah.
So and once you destroy all those coffins, then you can move to defeating Dracula. So throughout the game, you move your character around, and you can do as many actions as your character card says. So on this, you see there's a 4 at the top. It means this guy gets 4 actions. And his actions can be move, can be guide a villager from a space that's nearby. You can pick up items. These are items that are spread across the map, so the items look like that, and they each have a color and a number on top of them. Pick up those items. You can share items between characters if your characters are in the same space, right? Right?
Yeah.
You can advance a task, which is on the Dracula monster, it's one of the advanced tasks is destroy a coffin, so that takes an action. You can defeat a monster, which means after you've destroyed all the coffins, you go find Dracula. You stand in the same space as he does, and you spend 6 red tokens, or red tokens that add up to 6 to defeat him.
I know what the colors correlate to.
Or-
Red equals weapons,
Yeah.
yellow equals artifacts, blue equals other equipment.
Other equipment, that may indeed be true. The defeat action is an action, and then each character may have a special action, so all of our characters had a special action. So the special action of the archaeologist is pick up items from an adjacent space. So if I'm near items, which I am over here, I don't have to move into the space to collect them. So that's cool. So once you do your 4 actions, I had 4 actions, Gus had 4 actions, Tommy had 3 actions, but his special action was to move to any space on the map, which was kind of
And
Kinda
my
OP,
special
right?
action, my special action was to move any hero or villager 1 space.
right. So you're always trying to keep the villagers away from the monsters,
Because then, if you
otherwise
don't
they'll
die,
get eaten, right?
or just in case if you get attacked by a monster, they just chuck you into the hospital.
Right. Well,
They
we'll
just
talk about
eat
that in a
you.
second. We'll talk about how you lose the game, because that's important. Then after you do your 4 actions, then it's the monster's turn. And the first thing you do on a monster's turn is you draw one of these monster cards, and then they have actions on them. There's a number at the top of the card. In this case, that's a 3. which is you draw 3 new tokens from the bag, and the tokens have locations printed on them. So you take the token out of the bag and it says, says what it is. This is a red 6. It's a pistol. And you place it in the location marked on the token, right? And you draw 3 of them. It may also say some other thing. On the move, as this one says, and that says move a frenzy marker, and we'll talk about what that is in a second, from one monster to another. Then move each villager 1 space towards their safe location. So there's a little bit more going on here. Each of the villagers have a safe location they're trying to get to not die. The monster, the tokens have locations on them, so you're sort of moving stuff around on the map, trying to get the villagers to where they're trying to get home, and avoid the monsters. If the monsters end up in a space with you, then they get to attack as part of this, right? So there's this frenzy tokens, this fire thing that starts out on the lowest number monster. And that, on these cards, in addition, let's find one that does that, in addition to whatever the card says to do, then there's a move the monster. And if you look at the bottom of that card, it says there's a little arrow with a 2 and then a number of dice to roll, right?
Right.
So for a monster's turn, it says draw 3 tokens, so we drew 3 tokens. This one says put Renfield at the dock, so you take one of the villager tokens and you put him where it says to put him, and then it says now the monsters do stuff. They move, and they always move towards the nearest player or the nearest villager, and they always preferentially move towards the players. And then once they're in a space with a player, they can attack, and then they roll the attack dice. And the attack dice, there's 3 of them, and it tells you how many to roll. This one says roll 2 attack dice. And the attack dice have what on them? What are the things that are on the dice, remember?
Absolutely nothing, attack, or special action.
Absolutely nothing, attack, or special action, right? So when you roll the dice, the special action is listed on the monsters card. So if that were Dracula that was doing the special action, it says place the current player's hero in the same space as Dracula.
So even if Dracula were all the way over here and I was all the way over
he
here,
would draw you directly to him, right?
Even if you were in the hospital recovering.
Attacking means
Even
that
if he just sent you to the hospital.
the monster's going to try to wound or eat a player or a villager. And when he attacks a villager, the villager just dies. And anytime a villager dies, your terror meter here at the top of the map goes up. And if it ever gets to the end, what happens?
You lose.
You lose, right? So you don't want to have Dracula eating too many villagers. If it attacks a character and the character has tokens, these item tokens,
You can exchange a token.
you can exchange a token to avoid the hit. The players themselves are never killed outright. They're just defeated. And when they're defeated, they come back on their next turn back at the hospital, and they have to move back around the map.
And also this goes up.
And also this goes up. So anytime a character, whether it's a villager or a hero, is defeated, the terror meter goes up, right? So we played through this, again, in the beginner's game with Dracula and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. And
the recommended ones?
That's what you're supposed to start with. And our characters were the archaeologist, the professor, and the explorer. And I kind of thought it was too easy. I thought we beat him pretty quickly.
Maybe we should play with all the monsters next.
Well, that would make it a lot harder. But
Where does
yes,
the archaeologist go?
he starts out over here at the docks.
Wait, what's that blue one?
That's the Invisible Man.
Ah.
So it was a pretty quick game. It was really easy to learn, right? You guys did watch a how to play video.
Mm-hmm.
So we started off a little ahead of the game. And in our playthrough, the first 2 turns didn't have any sound. So when you watch that, I might cut that out. I might leave it in, maybe play some music. But you're moving your guys around, and you're taking turn moving your guys around. And then after you move your guys around, you take the monster's turn, and the monsters move. And that's it. You're trying to get the monsters defeated.
Okay, 2 things. One, this game reminds me a lot of Last Defense.
Oh, Last Defense. It is a little bit like Last Defense. You're absolutely right,
Like
because
a
you're trying to rescue
Halloween
science. Yeah,
version.
absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's very similar. Good. Okay, that's one thing.
Okay, and 2, there is a card where it's just the Invisible Man with with money all over them, and that's just hilarious.
Oh yeah. So the monster cards have different effects, and I think the one he's talking about is
The Invisible Man goes to a certain place and takes everything.
takes a bunch of money. The thief card, this one, right?
Yeah, that's
Show that to the
hilarious.
camera.
He's got a phone in his hand, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
see
I
it?
got $1
Good.
billion. Yay!"
Yes. Well, the Invisible Man he wasn't really a monster. He was just he
Guy.
stole stuff. So that's it, right? You play it until you defeat the monsters, or they defeat you. You can lose in two ways. The
Either
terror meter
loss,
gets up to here. Or what's the other way?
or you run out of monster cards.
Or you run out of monster cards. And the only way to win is to defeat all of the monsters. So the more monsters that we have,
the
the
monsters-
harder
and
the
for some
game is.
If the monsters
And
physically
also-
can't do anything, you lose.
Right.
Also, for some reason, it's just weird. Like, if the monsters don't have any villagers to attack, then all the villagers
Then they just stand there.
All the villagers escape, and then technically you would win, but it just says no.
Yeah, I know, but that's
That
the
does not
victory
make
condition,
sense.
right? So the villagers get rescued, the monsters get defeated, and I thought it was a fun game. The rule that I didn't know that we had to look up after the game is if a monster, where did the monsters go? Thank you. If a monster ends his space and there isn't anybody to attack, no dice get rolled.
Even
You
if
have to-
there's someone
even
just,
if there's somebody very nearby, absolutely.
he just cannot move another space. He's
That
just
was-
too tired.
That was the only rule that I think that we didn't remember while we were playing. It's a really simple, it's a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
Um,
Roll dice if monster attacks.
yeah, pick up items,
Do
different things. The next time we'll play with more monsters, see if it's a little more challenging. But this is pretty easy.
Shoot Dracula with a gun.
Yeah, or as coffins, right? All right, so that's it. What did you like about it, Gus?
The fact that it was basically a Halloween version of
Last
Last
Defense.
Defense.
Okay, that's a good thing to like. How about you, Thomas?
And
Same
I
thing as
loved
Gus.
Last Defense.
And you did love Last Defense. This is true. What did you like, Thomas?
Same thing as Gus.
Really? It was a lot like Last Defense. Well, we gave Last Defense a pretty high score, so.
And I also really like the figurines.
The figurines are cool. I like the components too. The components are pretty.
I like the fact that it's not like a werewolf man. It's literally just a Bob Ross werewolf thing.
Well, yeah, but that's what the movie. We'll have to watch some old school black and white monster movies. They're like Godzilla movies, but with
Scary.
monsters. They're not even that one. They're not even all that scary, comparatively. So yeah, that's it. I think the components are good. I liked the components. I did like the map. I didn't notice that it was like Last Defense, but you're absolutely right about that. It's a little more. I think it's a little deeper than Last Defense. It's a little more interesting.
Monsters
Okay.
attacking.
Yeah.
Save person. Kill monsters.
Exactly. But yeah, that's it. Was there anything you didn't like?
No, not really. No.
No?
Breaking news! Start!
I didn't.
Yeah, well, there wasn't an app, so
Oh,
maybe
I don't know how she could teleport.
she's the explorer. She just figures her way through the city.
Even if she's like in a cave, she can just
Yeah,
teleport to the institute in no time.
I would just go with it because don't know. That's her special ability.
Like it's like she literally has a superpower.
It is a little bit
Does
like a
the professor
superpower.
give people phone calls and tell them where to go?
Something like that.
What's this guy's special ability?
He can get stuff from nearby spaces as opposed to being in the space.
Go, gadget extendo arm.
Go gadget extender arm. Oh, he is wearing a fez, so. All right, well, so nothing you didn't like.
This is a cool.
It's a cool game.
This is cool.
Yeah, fezzes are cool. That's a Doctor Who thing. All right, well, I think we're ready to give it a score, right? What are you going to give it, Gus?
Same as Last Defense.
Well, you give Last Defense a 3.
Yeah, so 3.
You're going to give it a 3?
3.
You're going to give it a 3?
3.
You're going to give it a 3?
3.
Wow.
We just keep saying.
I'm going to give it a 2.
How dare you?
Six.
That's still an 8.
8.
That's still an 8. That's still an 8 total.
Huh.
It's a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. I might enjoy it a 3. I want to play it again with more monsters. But then that's it. It played really quick. We were done with this in about a half an hour. I think with more monsters it'll last longer. I'm not sure what it'll look like if we have friends over and play it with more players. But it's cool, and I liked it, and I'm glad we got it to the table. That's it. Anything else? Last thoughts?
No.
Last thoughts? Fun
All
game.
right.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Or
No.
can we wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
All right, that
Okay.
means it's time for the outro.
Subscribe, like, hit that bell, Tommy.
Leave a comment if you wish.
Eat plenty of cabbages. Not us though.
You can't, because you can't get blood from a turnip, and you almost certainly can't get blood from a cabbage. You can probably get blood from a gardener, though.
You might be able to get blood from somebody here at the table. Yeah, that's true. All right.
Unless that gardener is a robot or a cabbage himself.
All right. Well, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.